We made it to Michigan. We are here in Holland, and we're lucky enough to be here in time for the Tulip Time Festival.
As you can see, some of the gorgeous tulips are on display right behind us here, and this is only a small fraction of the tulips that are in full bloom all around the city right now. So we are really fortunate to be here to see the Dutch heritage of the town on full display with all of the events, the performances, the architecture, and everything else that you can see in Holland, Michigan. We're going to take you along to see all those things. We're starting off in Centennial Park, which is a Victorian-era park in downtown Holland, with a gazebo and a traditional Dutch fountain. There were over 40,000 tulips planted here, and it's a beautiful place to enjoy them. We caught one of the nightly displays of Dutch dancing by both youths and adults in traditional Dutch costumes, including the iconic wooden shoes. We really enjoyed watching this display of the town's Dutch heritage.
After the dancing, we strolled through the historic downtown area, which is full of shops, restaurants, and even more tulips. We are in the Tulip Immersion Gardens at the Ottawa County Fairgrounds, where we're actually staying at the RV park right behind here. This is the first year that they're doing this with timed admissions, with these raised tulip beds so you can get right up to them.
Yeah, usually, and all throughout the rest of town, you have the regular tulip beds along the ground typically, and here you have them all at different heights so you can stand among them in these tiered platforms. They tout it as a very Instagrammable experience, so we are actually going to get some maternity pictures here as well, and I'm really excited about this. First year that this is being done, very popular. Some of the days are already sold out, but this is by the Dutch horticulturist Ibo Goosen. He created this, and not only is it a beautiful experience, but it takes you through the history of the tulips. It's gonna be really fun. Let's show you. I think they smell wonderful, but Nathan says he does not like the way they smell. So he thinks they're beautiful, but I guess the entire experience is not for everybody.
So tulips were already being planted in Europe in the 16th century, but it wasn't until later in that century that they were brought to the Netherlands by a Dutch botanist who had met the Austrian ambassador in Vienna, who had already brought them over from Turkey.
They have various signs around that talk about how tulip time even got started. And so with Holland's Dutch heritage, back in 1927, there was a high school biology teacher named Lida Rogers who asked the city to make the tulip the town's official flower because of their Dutch roots and their heritage. And instead of putting it in every yard the way she originally envisioned, they bought 100,000 bulbs from the Netherlands and planted them in city parks, and everybody came from all around to see these flowers, and it was such a success that the next year they made Tulip Time an official festival. And so I believe now, what I read was they're now up to 500,000 bulbs, and in this Tulip Immersion Festival or garden, there's 50,000. Woo! So I guess 450,000 more to see around the city.
Another really nice place to check out here in town is Window on the Waterfront Park. There's lots of tulips to be seen here, there's a walk along the river, and it's also a lot less busy than some of the other places.
This is one of the things that you can do for free. There are about 100,000 tulips here. So in this 30-acre park, there are walking trails. You're right on the waterfront. You can actually see Windmill Island across the way here, which we're gonna take you to tomorrow. But in the meantime, we're gonna check out some walking paths through tulips and just other beautiful sights along this park. If you pick up one of these maps here, and this is for Tulip Time, it tells you where the different parks are and different places that you can see tulips. So that's how we figured out to come to Window on the Waterfront, you know, like we were at Centennial Park yesterday. It's a beautiful green space to see lots of tulips in one spot. Let's take them along the waterfront.
Okay, let's go. It is seriously pretty warm out today. I think it's been in the 80s the last 2 days. Looking forward to it cooling off a little bit.
It's nice on one hand, we're not wearing jackets and scarves and all of that anymore, but we're sweating a little bit. Thank goodness there's a bit of a breeze. And that's how they get ya. Lemonade stand was perfectly parked on the side as we were coming out of that field. We're about to go to the tulips here, but we said we can't pass this up. This lemonade is good.
I got to admit, I was just complaining about it being hot. This really fixes that. Get in the spot.
Let's go.
This turned out to be another really great place where you can go see tulips for free. I'm actually really surprised at the variety. I had no idea that there were this many color variations for tulips.
It's beautiful, though some of the tulips here are feeling a little bit like we are. They're looking a little bit wilted, but most of them are still doing great and still beautiful. Next, Windmill Island.
We're at Windmill Island Gardens, which is one of the main attractions in the area, where you can go see a real windmill that was brought over from the Netherlands.
It's actually still an old working mill, and it is called De Swan, which means graceful bird. It is centuries old, right around 250 years or so, and you can go inside of it, which is what we're gonna go do.
climb the stairs up to the 4th floor here. It is almost 360-degree views, but part of it is blocked off so you can't get near the blades themselves.
It's nice to be able to walk around and see the grounds. It's 36 acres here at the Windmill Island Gardens, and of course right now they have it planted with tons of tulips everywhere, which we'll go check out afterwards. But this is really neat to be able to climb up in the windmill and then come out on this observation deck. And we're learning quite a bit inside as well. We're on the milling floor and we get to go up, I think, one more floor. So we couldn't actually go up to the 5th floor. They had it blocked off, but they did show us the rope where the grain is pulled up from the bottom to the top, and that the 5th floor has the millstones. And then the 6th and 7th floors, which I didn't even know they had, they said are typically accessed only by the miller and are also very small.
It's pretty neat. They said that the blades will start to turn in 15-mile-per-hour winds, but that's not quite enough to mill grain yet. They need a little bit more than that. Next, we enjoyed some more views of the windmill from the neighboring tulip field. Afterward, we headed back through the gardens to the Dutch village and one last stop. We really enjoyed our time here at the Tulip Festival in Holland, Michigan, but honestly, we only really scratched the surface.
Exactly. We showed you several things to do, attractions and exhibits and free things and paid things, but there is so much more. There are parades, there are art exhibits, there's a quilt show, there's a market, there's music, and more. So we highly recommend the Tulip Festival, but in general, we recommend Holland, Michigan because it's beautiful here and there's a lot more to do even outside of this time of year.
There's even Holland State Park and the beaches over there, which we didn't have a chance to go see.
Next week, we're heading from a Dutch village to a German one.
See you next time.
Bye. We got a little lost. Apparently, window on the waterfront, it goes along the waterfront, which we did. We went to the end and then came out onto the main road, and now we're having to do this detour and circle back. And if you find one of these information booths,